Greetings! Today we're going to be talking about your digital footprint and how that can affect your reputation both online and offline. This is particularly important for students K through 12. I am a high school teacher, so I'll focus more on high school, but students need to realize that postings and things that they put online can follow them for years. All right, so the first thing we want to think about is our reputation. Our reputation, we often think, is how people see us, what our clothes look like, what our comments look like, the friends we hang out with. But often we forget how our digital footprint can affect our reputation. What we do online is not anonymous. It actually shapes how other people see us. The first situation that I discussed was a pretty typical situation. A high school student who's posted things on Facebook, made mean comments to a friend, and posted an perhaps inappropriate picture of herself online. Students who've posted this online might find people they didn't even realize were their friends or who they didn't realize could see their information making comments both about their comments and their pictures. Students need to realize that as they use things like Facebook, Ask.fm, Twitter, that there can be consequences for what they post. Once picture's out there, it can't be taken back. Once a comment's out there, it can often be seen by anyone. Again, an example of this is this family here. Dad thought it would be funny to take a picture of his kids and say that they wanted 1 million likes. What he didn't take into account is how this picture could end up all over the internet and he could never get it back. Another situation was one I personally experienced with a friend of mine. I've changed his name to protect him. We'll call him Mike. One day I was Googling Mike's name and I found out based on the Google searches that he had been involved in a number of frauds on eBay. People had blogged about him by both first and last name, as well as mentioning the university he attended, how the university responded, and how he was punished. I looked again, this was years ago that I looked at this, I looked again a few days ago and I realized all of those comments were still up there. And after I looked at those 4 or 5 links talking about all the mistakes Mike had made, I found Mike's resume. So what does this tell us? That just because something happens years and years and years ago, it doesn't disappear on the internet. It stays on the internet. Once the information is out there, once blogs have been posted, once people have said something, it's almost impossible to get that information back. Anyone who Googled his name, whether it be an employer or a friend, would find this information out about Mike. So, what is your digital footprint? Well, some of your digital footprints are active, which means perhaps it's a Facebook comment, blogs, Twitter, or maybe it's passive. If you look on a website like People, you'll find information on you online you didn't even realize existed. Your name, your address, and even your family members. So why do you care about your digital footprint? Well, you might post a picture or something online that you don't think is that big a deal, but in a few years, it might seem very embarrassing to you. You might think your friends now wouldn't care, but how would a future spouse or future children feel? Would a future employer look at it and wonder whether or not they should hire you based on what they see? So, critical point number 1, be aware. The internet is not anonymous. Instead, people can gather any information you post online. Even if your privacy settings are on, that doesn't mean you're completely protected, though you should make sure those privacy settings on your social network are on. Do not post any personal information you don't want the world to know about. Number 2, once it's out there, it's almost impossible to get back. Remember the value of your reputation and guard it. Critical point number 3, work instead on having a positive digital footprint. A positive digital footprint can help when your employers Google your name. They see positive things about you. They see that the digital world sees you as a valuable contributing member of society. So how do we do this? Well, you could be on social media, Facebook, Twitter, interacting with the right kind of people. Blogging, showing off what you can do, sharing pictures, sharing competitions you've been in, and then putting that all together in a digital resume to show off your skills. So what conclusion have we come to? Well, I think this quote by Betcher is important. In the future, your digital footprint will carry far more weight than anything you might include on a resume. Remember that when you try and create a positive digital footprint.